Retiring former Victorian Minister Lisa Neville believes the baseball bats aren't out for a change of government in Victoria. At the height of the pandemic, Miss Neville was one of several cabinet members who faced intense scrutiny over the decision to use private security in hotel quarantine. She even concedes she may not have answered everyone's questions in a high-profile inquiry into the matter. Lisa Neville sat down this week with our Victoria political reporter, Simon Love.
Lisa Neville, thanks very much for joining Sky News. Congratulations on the end of your political career, essentially.
Thanks, Simon. It's a strange way to say it, but yes, I'm retiring from my 20 years of being an MP.
Could you have ever imagined 5 terms as an MP?
No, it was a marginal seat, and I always thought if I get 4 years, that'll be great. To have won it 5 times, particularly when it got very marginal through a redistribution. I really thank the community of Bellarine for their confidence in me to keep re-electing me.
You've had some challenges, particularly in the last couple of years, particularly with your diagnosis of Crohn's disease. How's that affected you, and what prompted you to return to the ministry?
Yeah, so I've had Crohn's for 34 years, diagnosed for 34, and you know I've had surgeries at various times, but in 2020 I started to not be well. The pandemic was on, we were very busy, sort of didn't look after myself properly, so it got to a crisis point, and you know had major bowel surgery, and you know there were certainly times I didn't know that I'd be able to come back. You know, it really knocked me around significantly, but I had great doctors, great care, and and I really wanted to come back. I felt like I didn't want to leave unfinished business. I literally, was working and one night got sick and was away for months. So that it was not a planned leave in that sense. I hadn't finished some of the things I really wanted to finish. So it was, I feel very privileged I had a chance to come back, and it is a terrible disease and people don't see it. It's not something people can see, but has a massive impact on people's lives. And I've been lucky to hold down a stressful job, because stress contributes to it, for all that 20 years, and it caught up with me, but I got to come back and stand up and retire on my own terms, and I'm really pleased about that.
Do you have any regrets about some of the decisions that the government made during that difficult time for the state?
Look, I don't, because I think I feel confident that every decision we took seriously, and we did challenge each other. So I feel like we made the best decisions we could with the information that we had and with the advice that we had, and we did challenge each other. Of course, in any major, no one had been through a pandemic like that before in their lifetime, and in hindsight it's a different thing, but I'm very confident that the process and the way we made those decisions was the right way to do it, and the best possible outcomes. And at the centre of every decision was this going to save lives, and it was best for all Victorians.
What about hotel quarantine though? Do you think the decision to use private security instead of police in the first place will be a drag on the legacy of the Andrews government?
It's an airborne disease, and it is difficult to completely contain. I think the work that the team did in rebuilding the program, I'm really proud of them, and I was proud to be part of the program for that period from November 2020.
Was testifying at the inquiry a stressful time for you?
Look, all of those things are stressful, and particularly when you have a pretty clear sense of what you think happened, and sometimes that gets challenged, and you know that's not, no, I know what happened, I was there. So those things are stressful, but it was an important process. I probably didn't answer what everyone's questions were.
And what's your tip for the election?
Oh, look, I'm very confident that Labor's going to win.
Is Daniel Andrews the right man to lead the party? Do you think he'll serve a full to third term?
Look, I can't answer that. That's really his decision, but he is the right person to meet the challenges we've got at the moment as a state, as a result following the pandemic. So I think he'll be there in order to try and work his way through making sure that the state is in the best place it can can be before he leaves.
But do you think Labor will be punished for any of the tough decisions that the government had to make during the pandemic?
Look, possibly a little bit. But last term we had very big swings, and you don't take those for granted. And you always expect that there's a levelling off that comes with that. So we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think there's a baseball bat, as people say, out there for the Labor Party. That's not my sense. Certainly not in my seat. And I think Labor is in the best position it can be to win.
Lisa Neville, thanks for your time and for your service.
Thanks, Simon.